Jai Mahamaya ki jai, Vashveshvari Mata ki jai. Go on with chapter 16. Sri Nayana said, O Narada, now hear the wonderful movements of the planets and their positions, the auspicious and inauspicious events of the mankind are due to the different movements of these planets. As in a potter's wheel going round and round, the motion of the insects crawling on the wheel appears in its contrary direction, so the motion of the sun and other planets moving on the zodiac, composed of the 12 constellations, which again always moves round the Meru as an axle, appears different. Their motion from one star to another and from one constellation to another appears so likewise. These two motions, therefore, are not contradictory, but are consistent, so it is settled everywhere by the learned pundits, O Narada. He who is the origin of all, who is the Adi Purusa, from whom all things have sprung, who is endowed with 6 extraordinary powers, to whom all this prapancha, this material world composed of the 5 elements remains, that Narayana, roaming about, has divided the Triyama into 12 parts for the perfect happiness of all, and for the karma suddhis, the purification of karmas, etc. The sages furnished with Yan and Vijnana have thus argued on the point, following the path as laid out in the Vedas. The Surya Narayana, moving on in the 6 seasons, spring, etc., has established cold, heat, etc., as the dharma of the seasons, duly for the fructification of the karmas of the individual beings. Those persons that worship this Adi Purusha with devotion according to the knowledge of the Vedas, that the customs and the usage of the varnas and the ashramas, and with various performance of yogas, get their fruits respectively according to their desires. This sun is the Atman of all the lokas. And resting on the zodiac, between the heavens and the earth, enjoys the 12 months in the 12 constellations, Aries, etc. These months are the limbs of the year. 2 fortnights make 1 month. The 2 1/4 asterism go to form 1 month according to the solar measures of the day and night. The period of the sun takes to travel over the 2 constellations is called a season. The scientists say that this season is the limb of the samvatsam. The path that the sun describes within the 3 seasons, or half the year, in a zodiac is called 1 ayanam. The time taken by the sun with earth and heavens to make a circuit of the zodiac is called 1 year. This year is reckoned into 5 divisions as Samavatsara, Parivatsara, Idavatsara, Anuvatsara, and Idavatsara. These are functioned by the Sigra, Manda, and uniform motions of the sun. So the Munis say, thus far the motion of the sun has been described. Now hear that of the moon. The moon is situated 1 lakh yojana higher than the sun, and shares with the motion of the sun for 1 year, and she enjoys as well every month with the sun in the shape of the dark and bright fortnights. The moon, the lord of the night and of the medicinal plants, also enjoys the day and night by the help of 1 constellation, or 2.5 nakshatras. Thus, by her Sigragati, the moon enjoys those constellations. During the bright fortnight, the moon becomes more and more visible and gives pleasure to the immortals by her increasing phases, and during the dark fortnight, by her waning phases, she delights the Pitris. She performs revolutions in the day and night by both the phases of the bright and dark fortnight. Thus she becomes the life and soul of all the living beings. The moon, endowed with the highest prosperity, travels one nakshatra in 30 mahurtas. She is full and the soul without any beginning. She fructifies the desires and resolves of all, hence she is called Manomaya. She is the lord of all the medicinal plants, hence she is called Annamaya. She is filled with nectar, hence she is called abode of immortality, and she gives nirvana, final liberation to all, hence she is called Sudhakara. She nourishes and satisfies the devas, pitris, men, reptiles, trees, hence she is called Sarvamaya. By her influence, the asterisms travel over the 3 lakh yojanas. The god himself has made the nakshatra Abhijit to resolve round the Meru, along with the other signs of the zodiac. So this is reckoned is the 28th nakshatra. The planet Venus, Shukra, is situated above the moon 2 lakh yojanas high. He sometimes goes before the sun, sometimes behind, and sometimes along with him. He is very powerful. His motion is of 3 kinds, Sigra, Manda, and uniform. He is generally favorable to all the persons and does for them many auspicious things. So it is stated in the Sastras. O Muni, Shukra, the illustrious scion of Riku, removes the obstacles to the rains. Next to Shukra, the planet Mercury, Buddha, is situated 2 lakh yojana high. Like Shukra, he too gives sometimes in front, goes sometimes in front, sometimes behind, and sometimes along with the sun. And his motion too is of 3 kinds, Sigra, Manda, and uniform. When Mercury, the son of the moon, is far away from the sun, then strong winds, hurricanes, and the falling of meteors from the clouds, and droughts and other fears arise. The planet Mars, the son of the earth, is situated 2 lakhs yojana higher. Within 3 fortnights, 45 days, he travels 1 rasi. This occurs when his motion is not retrograde. This Mars causes all sorts of mischief, evil, and miseries to mankind. The planet Jupiter is situated 2 lakhs yojanas higher. He passes through 1 rasa, 1 in a year. When his motion is not retrograde, he is always in favor with the Brahma bodies. Next to Brihaspati comes the planet Saturn, the son of the sun, 2 lakh yojanas high. He takes 30 months to pass over 1 rasi. This planet causes all sorts of unrest and miseries to all. Therefore, he is called Amanda Graha, a malefic planet. Next to it is situated the Saptarsi Mandala, the Great Bear, 11 lakh yojana higher. O Muni, the 7 planets always do special favors to all. These circumambulate the Vishnupada, the polar star. Here ends the 16th chapter on the 8th book in the motion of the planets in the Mahapurana, Srimad Devi Bhagavatam, of 18,000 verses by Maharishi Veda Vyasa. Jai Mahamaya ki jai, Vishveshvari Mata ki jai, Bole Baba ki jai.